CNN, the polls have gotten so out of hand that even CNN Styx is saying that the polls are not correct. Listen to this.
I'm raising the roof right now.
Yeah.
It took you a couple of weeks, CNN.
Yeah, even CNN. Here we go.
Take a step back and sort of point out we've kind of been here before. So August 13th, how far were the polls off in Michigan, Pennsylvania, in Wisconsin? And this is in 2016 and 2020. Trump was estimated both times around and by significant margins. Take a look here. In 2016, the average poll in those states that I mentioned, those Great Lake Battleground states, Trump was underestimated by 9 points on average at this point in 2016. How about 2020? It wasn't a one-off. Look at this. He was underestimated by 5 points on average. And of course, Kamala Harris's advantage in those New York Times Siena College polls were 4 points in each of these key battleground states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin.
Oops.
The bottom.
Oh, you look at his co-host there, and she's like sweating nervously.
I know she looks like she's holding in a fart.
If you have any idea, if you're a Kamala Harris fan and you want to rip open the champagne bottle, pop that cork, do not do it. Donald Trump is very much in this race. If we have a polling shift like we've seen in prior years from now until the final result, Donald Trump would actually win. I'm not saying that's...
You know what they're doing right now? They're having PTSD from 2016.
Yeah.
That's what they're afraid of.
And they're desperately begging people to like get out the vote and stuff like that. They're like, no, you don't understand. You're not technically ahead.
Yeah, the polls they're polling too hard.
That's going to happen. But I am saying that he is very much in this ball game based upon where he is right now, and compare that to where he was in prior years.
We certainly heard the Harris campaign saying we have to keep fighting.
Absolutely.
This is definitely not over. All right.
Another stolen line.
I love how they always clap. I love how it seems like so many of them clap like in tune to what they're saying.
Yeah.
And it's always just
makes
very
it more
cringe.
true.
We need to keep fighting, everyone.
Yeah, this generic overweight lady too is like, she's one of their main commentators now on the election stuff. And by the way, so even CNN, right? Like, do you see 2 and 3 are devastating for Dems? There's no never Trump segment of the GOP base like in 2016.
Yeah, they've been eviscerated.
Yeah. I think that you end up with, again, I would still like to see Trump up in the polls. Okay. But there is an element to the 2016 where like, what was that line where it was like, screw it, I'm still voting Trump, or like the I'm still voting Trump kind of mantra.
We do need more memes. Yeah. We need a little bit more entertainment.
We need more memes. I think the polls, as we have tried to talk people off the edge many times, in 2016, when Hillary Clinton defeated Trump, when Trump defeated Hillary Clinton, Clinton was up 7 right now, 6.8 in the aggregate, and Harris is up 0.8. That means that means that Harris is running 6 points behind Hillary Clinton, and
unless the polls are somehow magically oversampling Trump voters, again, they're going to still try to steal the election. We know that.
Yeah.
So we have to pour out the vote as much as possible, knock on doors, harvest ballots, and so forth. Eventually, you get to the point where they just don't have enough ballot printers. They don't have plausible deniability. That's the long and short of it. And Trump needs to retool his campaign. I don't think firing his campaign staff would be a good idea, but he needs to absolutely crush Kamala Harris at the debate.
Yeah,
and preferably at 3 debates.
There's 2 major things coming up, perhaps 3. The Democratic National Convention, which is next week, where...
Will you give me a second to use the bathroom?
Yes, I'll hold it down. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The Democratic National Convention is next week, and Kamala is going to have to come out with some platform and give, the Trump campaign something to actually attack. Right now, there's really there's nothing to attack Kamala on other than the borders are thing, which is good, but that message will get stale between now and November 5th. When you look at the aggregate stuff, Yeah, it's a lot of Harris recently, but all of these polls are during the honeymoon period. We'll have to see kind of exactly what's going on. The DNC convention is next week, and it's like, Harris by 0.8. I don't know what the Kennedy vote means. The Kennedy vote having 5.6 seems insane to me. I think, who do these people break for? I don't know. Do they break for Harris on election day? That would be bad for Trump. I don't think so. I think that they probably are even, and half of them break for Trump and half of them break for Harris. I'll be interested to hear what Styx has to say. He has a better understanding of that. But like the DNC starts next week, and there's going to be, riots there from the pro-Palestine people. There's going to be bad press about it. The DNC is August 19th through the 22nd. So obviously we're going to have a lot of live stream potential there. So it starts on Monday and it goes through Thursday, just like the RNC does. Thursday will be the big Kamala speech. I suspect she'll speak each night, but there will be a lot more talking about it. Some people would say, from chat, he squandered the momentum from the attempt on his life by repeating tepid generic GOP talking points. I don't disagree with that. I think we do need a little more. We need a little more juice. We need a little more. We need a little more excitement around the Trump campaign. We need a little less pandering to moderates. That kind of stuff. Now that you're back, I was going to ask you what you thought. My thought was that the Kennedy voters would break about 50-50. What do you think because when they really show up on election day, are they really going to still vote for RFK? And if they
think
aren't,
I think that those that don't stick with him break about 50-50. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll be roughly even. I think it might even be slightly in Trump's favor.
I would say that's kind of where I would say and it would be close, like 55-45 for Trump.
Yeah.
Simply because of the pharma stuff and the jab stuff. Even though Operation Warp Speed, Trump should stop talking about that. I think that an RFK voter probably is 50-50, breaks for Trump, or two, and only half of them are some percentage of them are still going to vote for Kennedy, maybe 2%, 3%.
I think it'll be more than that. I think Kennedy gets 4. Okay. And the other 1.6, some of them might vote for Steiner West, actually.
Yeah,
but I think it breaks very slightly for Trump, but it doesn't really boost him or anything like that.
So
my thought is just that Kamala, once she's exposed to the public, is going to worry people more than Trump does. And so people that do flee that platform, they're going to disproportionately be people who lean to the right, realize, oh shit, I really got to get my ass in gear.
Yeah, I do think that, and I was telling people while you were gone, the DNC is next week. So we're going to get a lot of Kamala time.
Oh, it's going to be delicious.
I think so too. I think it's going to, I think even scripted, Kamala's going to have to talk for half an hour.
She's going to cackle. She's going to say weird shit. And there's going to be 20,000 protesters outside.
That's the other thing I was telling him too. I said, don't think for a second that the Queers for Palestine aren't showing up. And they're going to show up bigly. They're going to show up in huge numbers.
It won't be 1968, but it'll be a close second. And you got to understand, though, Jeremy, one thing. The legacy media is not going to focus on it.
Right.
And so Soccer Mom America is not even going to know that there were protests there for the most part.
Probably
They'll do it as an afterthought. They'll say, well, there were some small protests at the DNC. Meanwhile, Wendy's is burning. Home Depot is burning over there. Somebody bombed the hotel, and there are people running around the streets with machetes.